The castle gates stand wide open. Without a moment's pause, I hurry inside. I may have left that monster far behind me, but in all likelihood I still have no more than 5 minutes to spare. I must locate the Iceberg Master and force their surrender right away. Which is why I need to calm down and gather my wits. My goal isn't to do away with the Master, but to have a few uncertain points clarified. I must ask the Master of the Iceburns, the family acting as the cornerstone of the Holy Grail War, and said to know more about the heroic spurs than any other about the mystery of these 4 days. Okay, we'll just go to Ilya. Hey, have you been feeling these timeless too? Oh, bam! I stormed the entrance to the castle foyer. They should have known we were here the moment we engaged that monster in combat. No need for stealth now. As I run towards the staircase, I put on a spare pair of leather gloves. I'm in the thick of the enemy territory now. It wouldn't be strange to find a blade at my neck at any moment and... yeah. A strike could come from any direction. An anachronistic, long-handled weapon comes swinging down towards me. A halberd. Dodging that deadly ancient weapon, the style which was the beginning of the fallout favorite even among the Knights of the Holy Church, I jumped back out of the way. Oh. Oh, it's the maid. It's Laserit. It has a halberd. A voice free of emotion. Wielding a weapon that must weigh in excess of 40 kilos as though it were lighter than a feather. No, the awkwardness in her moves is as if she doesn't feel the weight at all. There's no room for doubt. This must be one of the finely honed battle-useless synthetic humans of the Iceburns, a homunculus! She's much more threatening. I was gonna say she's much more threatening when we're on the other side of that halberd, you know? She seems like, you know, just like nice and just a little awkward, but otherwise, you know, a good person when we're like Shirou, but I guess not this time. She looks like a deadly killing machine from Bazett's perspective. Perhaps picking up on my own readiness for battle, the homunculus raises her halberd in the air. There was no time to try and gauge her ability. I had to take her down my first strike. This is the second time I faced off against an Iceburn-made homunculus, and a formidable opponent though she may be, I also know her limits. The second time. Interesting. Use the power of good old boxing. Fisticuffs. A flurry of attacks and defensive counters leaves us still facing off against one another. Her strikes with the halberd are like those of a child in a play sword fight. She has nothing to depend on but brute strength. But in addition to that, her raw power is so otherworldly as to be superhuman, transforming her into a force of nature in battle. Though not at the level of the monster out there, one blow from this homunculus will be more than enough to fatally wound me. A direct hit would likely shatter every bone in my body. Even while parrying the gale-level force of her attacks, I managed to land 7 or so punches on her. Though each one contained enough power to have blown her internal organs out through her back, not so much as a flicker of pain shows on the face of the homunculus. I don't know whether that maid uniform of hers is some kind of superb mystic code, or whether she simply doesn't feel pain at all. At any rate, I'll have to break this homunculus's bones to bring her to a standstill. Nini? The fire of battle in the homunculus dies down. Her face, as expressionless as always, is filled with a strong drive, suddenly I don't know why I said it weird. As expressionless as it was filled with a strong drive, suddenly drains up its former tension as... Alright, Ilya. Well, Ilya, sometimes that could be interpreted in a different way. A young girl appears on the top of the staircase. Her hair is white as snow. The girl ushers me inside with a polite grace that perfectly complements her loveliness. This girl is the Iceburn Master? There's definitely a strong magical aura surrounding her. The amount of magical energy her body holds is simply phenomenal. Being beyond human, a natural-born magic circuit. There's no mistake. This girl too is a homunculus, crafted by the hands of the Ainsburns. Well, I mean... like, I don't think we're in like a good position to be, you know, like greeting politely, considering that we ran for our lives from your weird like Hercules berserker thing, and my servant is probably dead, and your maid attacked us and everything. Even though you told her to like, you know, to not do that, it still doesn't change the fact that we're fighting for our life here, little girl. Well, then again, we were the ones that probably did intrude in the first place, you know, we were the ones that went into the forest. But hey, I guess we just weren't prepared. And hey, she giggles. Even though she knows that I'm a master, there's not a trace of caution in her. It's almost as if she never saw me as a worthy opponent from the start.
失礼しました。私はバゼット。魔術協会から派遣されたマスターです。ここにはマスターとしてやってきました。それは存じていますわ。森でサーバントと出会ったでしょ。それでもしかしたらやってきたのはあなたかなって。他のマスターたちは間違ってもここにはやってこないから、ようやく来てくれたのかなって喜んでいましたな。
And I guess this is happening because, in particular, you know, all the other routes, well, I mean, not all the, I was gonna say route, not route, but like all the other, like, endings to the, I would say time loop, it's not really a time loop, it's like a, you know, the endings of Shirou, we're always in Fuyuki City, but I guess we're having this scene because we stay at Ilia's castle, maybe, you know? And so, and therefore, Bazett didn't bother fighting Saber because Saber wasn't around, so she just ends up going to Berserker's place first. Her smile is so carefree. My first impression of her could have been off the mark. There's no condensation in the girl's manner. She simply doesn't view me as her enemy.
そうよ。私はあなたと戦う気はないわ。他のどのマスターとも戦う気はない。私はもうマスターでも何でもないんだもの。
What does that mean?
あなた以外のマスターはみんなそれを知ってるから、こんな森にはやってこないの。
Or does she just mean like, well, I mean, I guess she means in the sense that, you know, all of the other masters that we know, you know, for Fate Stay Night, they're just not gonna fight, so the only person would be Bazett. She's not a master? What does that mean?
下がりなさい、リズ。バゼットは私と話がしたいみたい。森からお化けが入ってこないよう、城門を閉めてきて。
A monster from the sword. I mean, that's kind of weird. I mean, isn't Ilia very close to Berserker? I don't know, is this like a different Ilia though? Maybe it's not the same Ilia we, like, you know, the one we had the barbecue with? I don't know. Bazett does go to like very weird parallel dimensions. So I'm not sure. Because I wouldn't... I mean, unless it's like a translation thing, I wouldn't think that Ilia would say Berserker's a monster, you know? A monster in the forest. I mean, we did have barbecue with Berserker, right? So he's not like exactly, you know... I don't know what the word is. Like, he's not exactly like... It's not like feral, I guess, you know? He is like domestically trained by Ilia anyway, so he's not doing something that Ilia would not wish for, like, probably? I don't know. Do not defy me. The homunculus called Liz exits past me without so much as a watchful glance in my direction, as though our fierce battle a few moments ago never took place. The girl descends the stairs and disappears into the far end of the lobby. Still reeling slightly from this completely unexpected turn of events, I take her up on the invitation.
事の顛末は知っているわ。あなたは私の森に入ってきて、お化けに襲われて、自分のサーバントをおとりにしてここまでやってきた。目的はアインツベルンのマスターを倒すことと、それ以外に知りたいことがあったから。違う？そうでもなければこんな忘れられた城に挑もうとは思わないもの。
The girl calmly lowers herself onto a chair, though I decline when offered a seat of my own. Even if she proclaims this interest in finding me, this place is still enemy territory. I can't know for certain that she won't make this whole room disappear with a snap of her fingers.
用心深いのね、バゼット。教会の教えなのか、それともそういう性格なのか。ねえ、あなたって敵地じゃお茶も飲まないタイプ？
場合によりますが、ここでは飲みません。あなたの言う通り、私は知りたいことがあってきた。世間話をしに来たわけではありませんから。
そう、残念ね。それじゃお茶の用意は取りやめるわ。要件だけ済ませる方があなたには喜ばれそうだし。
Is this girl really the Ironburn master? I'm beginning to doubt her anew. No, if what she said about no longer being a master is true, then she's not really a master at all. I'm getting so confused about Bazett's stuff. But I guess, Bazett, the idea is that she woke up and she thought she's participating in the Fifth Holy Grail War, right? But I thought it was during the time, because, she fought different masters. Like she fought, for example, the very first time, she fought Rin and Sakura, but in a different alternate version of them. So I thought they were fighting, the typical, Holy Grail War that happened in Fate Stay Night. At the same time, though, sometimes I guess she slips into worlds where I thought, she slips into the world where Shirou was in, right? She defeated Shirou and Saber, and Shirou remembers that. I'm like, I don't know, it's just weird. It's I don't know. So I was thinking, maybe Bazett, maybe her memories are muddled because when she woke up, she wasn't exactly waking up in the Holy Grail War, the one in Fate Stay Night, but she's waking up in the same. I mean, she has the same old 4-day loop, right? As well. She is waking up at the same time that Shirou is on October 8th. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to keep it all in my head. Anyway, Ilya's view.
あなたはマスターではないと言いましたが、森にいた巨人はあなたのサーバントではないのですか?
So yeah, that's why I'm confused about Ilya as well. Her comments about her not being a master, she's not a master, or she's just saying that, and she's not a master in the sense that she's not participating in Holy Grail War, or she's literally magically speaking, contract wise, is she not a master?
あのお化けは私のサーバントよ。けどアインツベルンのサーバントじゃないわ。ちょっとした手違いで狂っちゃったの。
Yeah, that's weird. Unless she's lying, but I can only assume this is also another alternate world, another alternate Ilya.
今じゃ聖杯戦争とは関係のない。私を守るだけのお化けになっちゃった。
Because otherwise, remember we had that barbecue with Berserker before. He seemed tamed. I don't know, but now he isn't.
街に現れている怪物とは違うけど、同じようなものと思えばいいわ。彼は聖杯戦争には何の関わりもない。この森にやってくるマスターを殺すだけの怪物。サーバントでありながらサーバントの役からあぶれてしまった形のない亡霊なの。
役からあぶれた？
該当する役回りがなかったからちゃんとした出番を与えられなかったの。彼がアインツベルンのサーバントならあんなことにはならなかったでしょうけど。
あの怪物はアインツベルンのサーバントではないと。ではアインツベルンのサーバントはどこにいるのです？
いないわ。 だって私他のマスターにサーバントを取られちゃったんだもの。
Yeah, I can only assume this is like another alternate Ilya with a, alternate Holy Grail war somehow. I don't know, it's weird. Like she summoned a different servant.
ってそういうこと。
She summoned a different servant and everything, and she gave that servant away maybe, or they got stolen, I don't know.
聖杯戦争が始まってから4日目の夜にあっけなくサーバントが殺されてアインツベルンのマスターは敗北したの。
Or rather, I guess she was defeated. That's what it means.
あなたのサーバントだってアインツベルンは脱落したって一番初めに知ってたはずよ。
Weird. My mind freezes. Avenger knew that the Iceberg Master had been defeated. Not that it comes as a surprise. The number of things he's keeping secret from me could fill volumes. I don't trust that suspicious guy at all, so this news is hardly enough to shock me. What I find much more strange is...
どうしたの？何か気になることでもあったのかしら。
She giggles. This girl, she knows everything.
その他のマスターに取られたというあなたのサーバント。
あら、知らなかったの？彼の名はアベンジャー。アンニマユの名を冠する最も古い悪神よ。
With a grating sound, my consciousness distorts. My fist unconsciously closes around the earring in my pocket. The earring again. After laboring to calm my suddenly ragged breathing, I say,
それはおかしい。
Yes, Okashi, everything's so strange with like Bazett. I don't know.
アベンジャーなどというクラスは聞いたことがない。第一、アンリマユの名を冠する英霊など存在するはずがない。
I finally put into words the questions that's haunted me ever since this all began.
ええ、もちろんアンリマユなんてものは実在しない。アベンジャーとして召喚されたそれはアンリマユという故障を語るただの人間だったわ。
Not the real Angry Mayu, the one that Kirei was trying to birth into the world in Heaven's Field, but, like, I think it was mentioned before, like, yeah, he's not the real Angry Mayu, he's just someone who represents Angry Mayu, sort of like the mascot, I don't know.
神話に現れる悪神とは何の関係もない魔術も神秘も知らない一般人。
The one that, like Mickey Mouse, but, the person wearing the Mickey Mouse costume, not actually Mickey Mouse, or something like that, I don't know, anyway.
理由もなく偶像に選ばれてその一生を魔として扱われたただの生贄だったのよ。
A fairy tale from a far-off, distant world. Once there existed people who, distraught by all strife that had come to be in the world, created for themselves a new world, isolated deep in the mountains. Although they had gathered together in the hopes of living as an embodiment of man's innate goodness, they were unable to divorce themselves from the evil nature also inherent in man. Doubt and deception, hatred and resentment. No matter how gloriously they sang the praises of human good, evil was still born among them. So they decided that someone had to shoulder the blame for the ugliness of the world. This evil was not something that could have been born from within any of them. That they themselves had this evil in their nature couldn't be true. The evil of mankind stems from the venom of something demonic which comes to infect us. Excuse. The evil of mankind is making me have a dry throat. Drink some water. The evil of mankind stems from the venom of something demonic which comes to infect us. We must all lead lives of purity and righteousness. Therefore, they require the root of all evil. They require an effigy to bear the weight of all sin. Someone of whom it could be said it is only you who is evil. And so a scapegoat was created to become all the evil in the world, a lone sacrifice.
英霊の中には時 々そういうのが混じっているの。本人は普通に生きたつもりでも、死後周りがその生き様を神格化して立てまつり、英雄を作り上げるのね。死者は何も語らないから、都合のいい役を押し付けても文句を言わない。疑いを知らない善良な人々が信じるには格好の崇拝対象よね。ただ彼の場合はそれが同しすぎていた。人々の崇拝が怒りや憎悪だったからかしら。彼は本物の悪魔として扱われ、人々はあらゆる非難を彼に押し付けた。貧困、病、災害、果ては自分が死んでしまうことへの恐れさえ、彼がいるから起こるのだとなじられ、はけ口にされた。けどそれで人々は救われたの。そういう悪魔がいるなら仕方がないって。嫌なことは全部そいつのせいで、自分たちのせいじゃないんだからって。だから彼は死後に英霊として扱われた。その手は何もしなかったし、誰に敬われることもなかったけど、彼は多くの人々を救ったから。
So by being the bad guy, he can let everyone else shine, or something like that. While he still lived, he became a god. While he still lived, he had his human nature taken away. The name he was given at birth was stripped from him, and he was spoken of as a great evil. Yeah. He spoke of it as though it were a trifling matter. Anywhere in this world anymore, he declared without a trace of resentment. And in response, your next name was the one that you were fondly called as a hero. Even if it is a title, it's a name that gained acclaim from people. Of course you would like it. How could I have ever said such a thing? Okay, no, I guess, yeah, that's what she said before.
それがアベンジャー、アンリ・マユという悪性に見立てられた人間ということですか。
そうよ。けど能力の方は点でダメ。彼はアンリ・マユとして扱われることにはなったけど、信仰だけで特別な力がつくわけじゃない。彼は生前も英霊として扱われることになった死後もただの人間だった。
Interesting that Ilya just knows all about this. Though I do remember, yeah, we were told this story about Angry Mayu and Fate Stay Night, you know, so specifically by both Ilya and Rin as well. You know, they were talking about Angry Mayu before. I guess it's not surprising that she knows about this whole story about him.
まあ、名前はベスターから除外されたことで秩序からは自由になったけど、それでも英霊と呼ばれるには点で力不足。サーバントとしては何の役にも立たないゴミだったわ。
ゴミ？
何？いきなりやる気になっちゃって。私を殺しても利益はないのに。あなた、見かけによらず危ない人？
Now that she says that, I realize I'm seething of anger. Literally shaking. What the girl said wasn't that far off the mark. It's true that as a heroic spirit he's incredibly weak, and at first I did think he was useless. But that was only due to my lack of understanding at the time, added to the fact that it was hard to grasp his good points. Okay, it's as if she's talking about her boyfriend, basically. Like someone that is like, I don't know, like someone who's like bad, I guess, like a bad boyfriend, but then she only sees his good points or something, you know, or something like that.
いいえ、私の時は本当に役立たずだったのよ、バゼット。
Back when he was my servant.
彼が人々の望んだ英霊になるのはもっと後のこと。彼にかけられた願いが成就するまでは無力なまま、宝具の一つも使えない。
No noble phantasm? No, does she mean that he couldn't use his noble phantasm while he was the Einsburg's servant? This doesn't add up. The Einsburg girl whose servant was taken away. Okay, so I thought, okay, I'm a little bit confused there, but I guess her servant was a Avenger? That's weird, okay. If he was taken, that would make me the one who took him. About this, there can be no mistake. I don't have the first idea how I was able to usurp the contract from her, but it seems that this girl's contract with the Avenger was switched with mine. So then, what does the death on the 4th day signify? Being taken away is not the same as dying. This girl is talking about multiple conclusions at once.
いなくなった私のサーバントの話なんていいでしょ。それよりあなたのサーバントの話が聞きたいわ、バゼット。魔術協会に選ばれたあなたですもの。さぞ巧妙な英霊を召喚したんでしょう。
あ、いえ、私のサーバント。
Venture, I was gonna say, but hesitated before my mouth could shape the words. It's partly because I'm the one she said took him from her, but on top of that, I can't shake the feeling that she's lying to me about something.
私のサーバントは？
別にマスターで亡くなったあなたに話すことでもない。それにもう
He's already long dead. Right when I arrived at this castle, all response to Revengers ceased. He's already returned to the first night, and there he waits for me to awaken, just like always.
そうだ。それが彼の能力だ。
To be reborn even from death. No, to start over from the first day when we were still alive. Which means that the girl before my eyes must already know all about his ability to rewind.
イリアス・フィール、アベンジャーは宝具を使えなかったと言いましたね。それはどちらの話ですか？アベスターか、それとも。
何の話だかわかりませんけど、そのどちらも使えなかったでしょうね。言ったでしょ？アベンジャーは役に立たない道具だったって。
So he didn't have the power to rewind when he was the Ainsburn's servant, at least in this parallel world? I don't know. So this must mean that the Ainsburn Master knows nothing at all about Avenger's noble phantasm. Never mind Avesta, his ability to resurrect from the dead far surpasses even other noble phantasms. There's just no way anyone who's experienced that power firsthand could so summarily dismiss him as useless.
そうですね。アベンジャーの話だとしても仕方がない。本題に入りましょう、イリアス・フィール。あなたはこの聖杯戦争をどう感じていますか？
さあ、私はとっくに仲間外れですもの。もう聖杯戦争に興味はないわ。すでに終わったことですし、ゆっくり終わりを眺めているだけ。
町に現れている使い魔たちも知らないと？
知らないわ。言ったでしょ、私は仲間外れなの。でもそうね、あの怪物たちが町にあふれるのは今夜までよ。始まってから今日までの4日間しかあの怪物たちは存在できない。
Will they disappear after the 4th day? It came up again. Another link to the period of 4 days. My search for clues relating to what was originally my search for clues relating to that was what originally brought me here tonight.
イリアス・フィール、これは私のサーバントの能力なのですが。
I tell her, with a certain conviction of all that has happened so far. Okay, we were like hesitant to tell her everything, but I guess we are. Rebirth from death, the endlessly restarting Holy Grail war. No, that's not it. But my servant and I, who, no matter how many times we repeat them, cannot move beyond these 4 days.
聖杯戦争を繰り返している。そうなんだ。
Interesting, because I guess it kind of reminds me of when Shirou was talking to Rin, you know, saying, hey, by the way, I'm getting all these, I'm repeating, you know, the Holy Grail War, can you, like, help me about that sort of thing, even though you probably don't really know what I mean by that? I'm not crazy, I swear.
あなたにはそう感じる。いいえ、あなたたちだけとどまっているのね。
We are the only ones who are confined. She's right in saying that. Viewed from the perspective of the girl who cannot rewind, the 4th day will be followed by a 5th. But the two of us must return to the first day. We're standing in the middle of the vast river called Time, never moving downstream from where we stand, and going back upstream again and again.
あなたはそれを解決しに来たのね。聖杯戦争を止めて4日目を超えたいと。
Though I guess different from like Shiro's situation, Bazett remembers everything quite clearly, and also, you know, Ilya might also be a good help, or a bigger help than Rin because, you know, mentioned before, you know, she's quite tied to the Holy Grail War and everything.
いや、私はただ。
I haven't the slightest desire to stop the Holy Grail War. I only want to know for certain why this boundary of 4 repeating days confines us as it does.
違うの？なら何がしたいの？あなたは。今のままじゃ永遠に。
What? Eternal hell? Eternal limbo? No, all I want is to win this abnormal Holy Grail War and fulfill the duty I was sent here for.
そう。サーバントとの契約を切るのなら手を貸すこともできるけど、そっちの問題は管轄外よ。言ったでしょ。私は仲間外れだって。私、この城から出る気はないの。あなたの聖杯戦争がどうしてそんなことになったのか、それを調べられるのはあなただけよ、バゼット。
The girl rises from her seat. Ilya's view moves towards the lobby as though she's lost all interest in me.
おやすみなさい、バゼット。あなたの話が本当なら、今夜でまた戻るんでしょ？それまで城にいるといいわ。森に出たらお化けに殺されてしまうもの。
I guess it's weird that, I mean, I guess Hercules or Berserker is not really a servant in this weird world, you know, in this timeline. But why is he protecting Ilya technically? I don't know. It's weird.
今夜は星が綺麗よ。せっかく一人になったんだから、よく考えてみることね。
Or actually, I remember she said something about how she tried something Berserker. I guess that's usually what the Einsburns want to do, but something went wrong. So I guess the Berserker is just an incomplete servant, and that's why he's like trying to protect Ilya with no other motivation, I guess. It's automatic, like an automatic security system.
あなたは何がしたかったのか。本当にその違和感を解決してしまっていいのかを。
Okay. I leave the winter castle behind me. Oh, I mean, she told you not to do that. You're gonna get killed, but I guess it doesn't matter. Does it really matter to Bazett? She'll just restart anyway. I refuse the girl's offer. Even if in the forest I do encounter that monster and my defeat at its hands, I still can't simply stay here passing the time in tranquility all by myself. As she said, the sky is remarkably clear. While gazing up at the countless number of stars overhead, I think of him. The one who doubtlessly replied with something sarcastic like, "How could they be countless? If you can see him, you can count him too, if you were here." Okay.
どうして4日で終わるのかではなく、どうしてそんなことになったのかを知るべきだ。
The rewinding ability isn't Avenger's noble phantasm. I do remember him having said so himself, that this was a special bonus from having made a contract with me. What did he mean by a special bonus? If this isn't a noble phantasm, I ask myself, then just what kind of miracle could make this possible? A wish-granting magic vessel? A Holy Grail? Maybe someone has already made a wish? And that's why she's stuck in this loop? I don't know. I deny the answer that rises to the surface of my mind.
アベンジャーは信用できない。私は私のできることをするだけだ。
That's it. Next time I'll go out into town during the day while he sleeps. Avenger is incapable of action during daylight hours, but I myself have no such restrictions. Although I've avoided going out during the day thus far, it's not as though I'm a vampire or anything of that sort.
冬木の魔術師、遠坂と的、それに前回生き残ったエミヤ規律。
Kiritsugu? I mean, I mean, does she know he's dead, or is he still around in her timeline? I don't know. If I'm going to take action, why not start from there? Keeping it quiet for my servant, I will go out into town. Once again, I feel an unnecessary pain in my chest. It would have been so much better if I truly couldn't trust him. Because I want to believe in him, I'm hiding things from him and seeking out the truth. This reminds me of, seeking the truth. Anyway, she's gonna go out daytime. Does that mean we can actually meet her? Because we're back to being Shirou, right? Back to being Shirou. Shirou, ghost house, well, that's the school. So there's like ghost house. We go to school, or we can have a nice scene with Ryder. Man, I don't know. Because we had, had like a good amount of plot progress just then. I kind of just want to relax, How about we just go have like a nice scene with Ryder? Well, I guess we'll probably talk to Ryder actually. I don't know. Hey Ryder, can you help us like patrol actually? Actually, well, I guess that scene doesn't activate during the daytime, only at nighttime. Anyway, I'll go visit Ryder. She's probably reading as usual.
Oi, Ryder!
Oh, great timing. Are you free right now? Well, just as I'm about to ask her that, she slips right past me. As if she has something to do, she walks by rapidly. Oh well, so much for that. Well, maybe I'll just drink some tea by myself. Yes. No, she's still around. I've run into Ryder again. I'll make some tea for her too, just in case. Since the teapot's still full of hot water, I quickly brew some roasted green tea. Making an appointment, I guess, or I don't know. Stylist, I bring the tea into the living room and offer some to Ryder. I'm not sure what I'm so surprised about, but the revelation does drive me into a temporary stupor. Well, Ryder's a woman in her prime after all. It's no surprise she'd go to a salon, but for a beauty like her to go to the same place in Miyama, frequented by Homohara students? I mean, it's very long. Long anime hair. Ryder's hair. Now that I think about it, I suddenly feel like touching her ever-waving, smooth strands of hair. It would be so nice to run my hands through them, just once. No, down boy. That's a good way to get yourself killed. Okay. Oh, that's like convenient. As a servant, your hair never grows, so it's just always the same way forever. Ryder sips at her tea. What does that mean? Okay, well, I thought when she said that my hair returns to its original state, I thought her hair turns into snakes, but I guess not. It's more so the fact that every time she goes back from spirit to physical form, maybe it sucks up some magical energy from Sakura, maybe? I don't know. So that's why she doesn't do it the magical way.
私は彼女のサーバントに過ぎませんから。さくらはあなたに気遣いされれば喜びます。私もそういったあなたたちを見ているのは嬉しい。
そうか、頑張る。
シロウには戦いより難しいでしょうが、尽力してください。打足ですが、そういうあなたを見るのも楽しいですから。
She says something scary a little too easily.
さくらには十分気を使うとしてだな。遠坂あたりはどうなんだろう。あいつも美容室に行ってるのかな。
彼女には余計なお世話だと思います。
That was quick.
誤解なきように。リンは努力を表さない性格です。美容の苦心をシロウに知られれば侮辱されたと思うでしょう。
ああ、なるほど。
A swan's feet is what they say. As for the remaining members of the women's squad,
じゃあセイバーは？
微妙ですね。私が行けと言えば喧嘩になりますが、シロウが言えば忠告と取るでしょう。
it is indeed quite difficult to predict how it would unfold. She'll probably say something along the lines of, I like this hairstyle, or possibly other hairstyles do not fit me.
で、藤姉はどうかな。
Really, what would that be like?
喜ぶかもしれませんよ。
はい。
ですから喜ぶかもしれませんと。あまり化粧をする人柄ではありませんが、嫌いではないようですし、シロウが美容室に行きたいと言えば二つ返事で同行するのではないでしょうか。
Wait, does that imply that I will be the one going for a makeover and not Fujine?
もしもの話はここまでにしておこう。
Why not?
ライダーはこれから？
美容室は午後からです。それまでのんびりしています。
And so she proceeds to set camp in front of the TV.
かくいう私はあまり好きではないのですが。
She says softly. About what? Not fond of what? The beauty salon?
なんでだ？生き慣れてるっぽいじゃないか、美容室。
そうなのですが、鏡がありますから。
Ah, yes, mirrors. Because she's Medusa. There are indeed a lot of mirrors in the hair salon. Raida's true name is Medusa. Her tail includes a defeat with a mirror-like shield.
伝説でいうところの鏡の盾だっけ？石化の魔眼を跳ね返したっていうのは。
According to the Greek mythology, Medusa had her mystic eyes blocked by Perseus's shield and was defeated by having her head cut off or something like that. That's what we have in common, having our heads cut off. So, does that mean...
ライダー、髪切るときってメガネを外すよな。そうなると鏡と向かい合うことになるけど、ライダー石化しないのか？
Oh no.
しません。鏡を見たところで私は石化しませんから。
It's a myth. Myth busted.
鏡に映った風景を頼りにして私と戦ったのです。直接私と目を合わせないために。
ああ、なるほど。
Perseus's shield did not reflect the mystic eyes. He merely made them ineffective by avoiding eye contact.
でもそれだとなんで鏡が苦手なんだ？
Well, maybe it's because it's PTSD or I don't know.
別に鏡に倒されたってわけでもないんだし、嫌うのはわかるけど苦手っていうのは行き過ぎじゃないか？
それがそうでもないのです。女神の盾は魔眼は封じられずとも、私を倒したのは確かに鏡なのですから。
ん
It's a mystery. It looks like there's some plot holes in the mythology regarding Medusa. Mythology.
聞きたいですか、シロ？
ああ、いや、そりゃ興味はあるけど。
どうしても聞きたいですか？
いや、どうしてもって言われると。
After all, it's a story concerning Medusa's, rider's fall. I feel as if I shouldn't insist on it.
いや、話してくれるなら聞かせてほしいです。
わかりました。
We have no choice but to hear her traumatic backstory.
あのような出来事は思い出したくないのですが、シローが聞きたいというのであればお話ししましょう。
Okay.
あれはこの体が怪物として成長しきった後、今の私とは違うけれど、その果てにある怪物の末路の話です。
The peaceful morning air somehow feels a lot more ominous and oppressive. I'm not sure if she's enjoying my frightened reaction or if it's just a foreshadowing technique. Ryder quietly begins the story of her past self's final moments. If that is so, then I shall bring back the head of the legendary monster, Gorgon, the soon-to-be king of Tyrants, and the future king of Mycenae. Mycenae. Perseus said this at a banquet. The warrior most favored by the gods in the Greek world. Perseus, the son of Zeus, the king of gods, on the day of the banquet, to prove his bravery and save his mother, he vowed to defeat the monster. The faraway, solitary island was one of the places where those exiled by the gods lived. A hideous monster looking at the end of the world. According to the rumors, it resided in the Titan's ruins, a place resembling the cunning evil of the Sirens and the chaotic disorder of the Chimeras. Once a glorious palace of the gods, there was not a trace of its former beauty left on the island. It was now a demonic realm the likes of which could not be found elsewhere. The name of that sacred place was the Shapeless Isle. A place not even birds visit, a hell on earth. 5 noble phantasms were given to Perseus. A pair of winged sandals so he could fly through the air, a helmet that granted invisibility to its wearer, a bronze shield polished like a mirror, the gift of the goddess Athena, a snake hunter's scythe, harp, and finally a bag that contained the monster's head, Kibisis. That seems OP. Why does he get 5 noble phantasms? G, Perseus? How? Like, why does your mom let you have 5 noble phantasms? No warrior in the history of Greece has ever been given this many noble phantasms. Seems like a spoiled brat to me. Perseus equipped himself to win and gathered much information to aid him. A wealth of trustworthy weapons and a strategy to utilize them. Although he had neither seen the foe nor ever set foot in the demon's lair, he had not a speck of fear. Until the day of the battle. Until the moment he descended to that dark palace. The island was drastically different from what he had heard of before. The sun did not shine, the air was stale, and all living things melted away. A hell that did not permit the very existence of life, a dark palace stained with blood. A place that would trick one into thinking that his time had already come, and he had fallen into the afterlife. Although favored by the gods, Perseus, who yet to prove himself as a hero, could not bear the sight of it. Okay. Perseus ran deeper into the palace as if he were escaping. His dreams of slaying the monster gloriously was long gone. Any longer for fame had long since left his mind. He only wanted one thing: find the monster, take its head, and escape from the island as quickly as possible. The stale air was burning his skin, and his feet were slowly melting away where they had touched the ground. Simply stopping would spell certain defeat. The foolish challenger would perish as the monster slept quietly inside the palace. Holding his breath, suppressing the scream rising in his throat, Perseus hid in the shadows as he advanced. The palace was enormous. No, it was excessively huge. Seemingly enchanted, it had no beginning and no end. This terrifying palace only revealed Perseus's own insignificance. Yes, it was not that the palace was grand. It was just that Perseus, shivering and alone, was like a tiny insect to its inhabitant. And so, a few minutes, no, hours later, the mirrored shield warned Perseus. The shield reflected the surrounding on its mirror-like surface. A detector of sorts, the shield shows the dark palace's layout, as well as Perseus's own heartbeat. the heartbeat of a nearby monster, fast approaching. The view distorted. A grotesque creature emerged from the darkness, yet one cannot stare at it directly. Perseus used self-suggestion to force himself to look at nothing but the shield until the very end. It was already too late to back away. A fight was inevitable. Seconds later, Perseus flew through the air and issued his challenge to the monster. And then, he suddenly realized that something about the legend was off. The place was inhabited by 3 beautiful sisters. Ah, yes. But the shield showed only 2 heartbeats, his and the monster's in front of him. Then, the heartbeats of the petrifying snake princess's 2 sisters. Just where could they have disappeared to? A gigantic something came, polarizing the forest of stone statue in its way. That was the Gorgon, the monster Perseus sensed. There he is. Perseus threw a volley of curses. "You damn gods, what use is this glory you promised me? There's no victory to be found in this fight from the beginning. The monster was already nearly mature enough to be called an evil god. On this impossible mission, the cleverness of noble phantasms were nothing but life-saving equipment at best." It was not unlike a ship caught in a storm. Being toyed with by the raging waves, Perseus was struggling only to survive. There was no way to win, no weapons to defeat the enemy. A battle of attrition. It may have been possible for a true hero, but Perseus, who had hoped to become one through his victory here, had no means to destroy Gorgon. Perseus, who still possesses the nature of a human. The only way he could slay the Gorgon would be... Perseus continued to avoid fatal hits using his winged sandals, escaping the petrifying glares and dodging the blows from the monster's arms, but that was all he could do. Gorgon was basically a huge tentacle monster. Oh no. The monster did not feel threatened by this new offering. It was no more than a mere nuisance. Finally, having enough of the fighting, it opened up its own palace. Breaka Gorgon. Self-sealing Temple of Darkness? I think, yeah. It reminds me of Fako. Fako has, well, basically, I don't know, it's a sort of spoilers, not really, but like, yeah. Fako has their own version of Gorgon, and that's basically what she does. She says, Breaka Gorgon, I believe, right? That's her special attack. A great magical barrier, a complement to the blood fort that enveloped the shapeless isle. Just as the blood fort enveloped the world, the Temple of Darkness sealed it. The person caught inside would have his consciousness imprisoned within the mind of the Gorgon, and would be rid of any abilities it might have had in the outside world. The Temple of Darkness, unlike the mystic eyes, only needed a steady supply of magical energy from the Gorgon to draw one in. Perseus has no way to avoid it. It had total control over him. The monster, without even focusing on the fight, could... And the only way to fell the monster is to let it encage itself. Kibisis, the bag that is said to have carried Medusa's head. In an instant, it swelled up, turned inside out, and swallowed Perseus whole. The constants of the world inverted. The inside of the bag became outside, and the outside became inside. Now, what was inside wasn't the bag's contents, but in fact the outside. Okay, it's getting weird, but alright. The Gorgon's Temple of Darkness was aimed inside itself. That prison became a mirror that reflected the Gorgon who was outside the bag. Okay, so in a way, it was a mirror, I guess, in the sense of reflection, I guess. I don't know. It wasn't the petrifying stare, but I mean, I don't know about like actual real life mythology, but I guess in the way that's written here, you know, that's what actually happened. The monster's movement stopped. Trapped in the Temple of Darkness created by itself, startled by a nightmare of its inner wounds, the Gorgon suffered as Medusa. A nightmare beyond all nightmares, the monster despaired of the reflection in the mirror of its own self from the time when it still had a sense of self-awareness. And then and there came the one counterattack. The Immortality's subverting harp sliced through the neck of the completely paralyzed snake princess. The invincible monster became Medusa again due to its own heart and, as if waking from a dream, was struck down all too quickly.
以上です。
And that's her story.
何分昔の話ですし、今の私とは関わりのないことなので、細部に脚色がありますが。
Oh, did you? She continues sipping her tea. With a nice story over tea, I guess. She's just recited a story about her own beheading, yet she keeps an unprecedented level of calm.
そっか。メドゥーサ討伐ってそういう話だったのか。
はい。あれ以来自分の姿を見ることが私のトラウマとなりました。鏡が苦手なのは言うまでもないでしょう。
So I was right. It is like PTSD.
なるほど。別に見てもダメージは受けないけど、精神的によろしくないと。
そういうことです。加えてその後、あんな若造に私をいいように使われたなどと。ええ、この上なく腹立たしい。苦手でもありますが、恩敵とも言えますね。
Okay. She mutters about having an urge to break every mirror she sees. Such an adolescent is an unusual emotional choice of words for Ryder, though.
若造ってペルセウスのことだよな。ライダーの話じゃ、そいつも犠牲者とまではいかないまでも、騙された側っぽいけど。
ええ。そうですね。彼も神々に乗せられた一人でしょう。何しろ、あの時点の彼は私にとって家程度のものでしたから。
So I guess, according to her story anyway, Perseus wasn't like a great hero. He just happened to have all the tools, to trick Medusa or Gorgon, I guess, to getting herself defeated, I guess.
同情の余地はあれ、憎しみを向けるほどのものではないのですが。
ですが？
個人的にどうしても好きになれません。後に立派な人物になりましたが、それでもです。
どんなやつだったんだ、ペルセウスって。
そうですね。彼がどんな人物だったかというと。
Ryder thinks intently, as if digging up his image from the depths of her memories. And not long after, she raises her head, seemingly surprised at the answer she came up with herself.
一言で言って、成功したシンジです。
He was a successful Shinji. Yep, that's a good summary. That conjures up an extremely clear image in my head.
全く、実に気に食わない。これというのも、あのキビシスさえなかったら。
Having had the barrier turned inside out by Kibises, Ryder ended up sealed in her own Temple of Darkness. Anyone caught in the Temple of Darkness is said to experience a nightmare that has taboo and delight both mixed in it. However, I wonder what kind of a vision was it that left her with a trauma this deep.
何を見たんだ、ライダー。いや、悪かった。悪夢なんか思い出したくもないし、話したくもないよな。変なこと聞いてすまない。
いいえ。夢はお互い様なので、私からちゃんと聞かせないと不公平です。
Ryder straightens her posture once again, but she still remains hunched over ever so slightly. Interesting, she said, I owe you? Ryder owes us? In terms of dreams, I guess, again, the dream of Rin, I guess that she caused it or something, right? So that's why she feels she owes us? I don't know. It must be an even greater challenge to endure than the story of being beheaded.
その悪夢というのは。
You believe it? Okay.
メデューサ、出ていらっしゃい。メデューサ。
Okay, this is her nightmare, and like comedy music plays.
はい、ここにいます。何でしょう、上姉様、下姉様。
Ah, yes, her sisters.
なんでしょうじゃないでしょう。今晩私と私がポセイドン様の共演に出るって知ってるわよね、あなた。
はあ。姉様方が会心に呼ばれたことは聞いています。けど、 それが何か？
ちょっと私聞いた？私たちの妹なのにどうしてこんなに使えないのよ、このデカブツは。本当に困ったものね。こんなに気が利かないなんて。メドゥーサ、あなたもしかして恐竜？脳が私たちの手のひらほどもないのかしら。
姉様方、夕食の準備でしたらこれからちゃんと行いますけど。
もう本当にイライラするわね。私たちの身支度は整っているかって聞いてるのよ。
はい、支度はいたします。
いたします？もう住んでいるんじゃなくて？きっとこの子は生半可な支度をして私たちが恥をかくのを楽しみにしているのよ。
そんなことはありません。私は。
あら？ねえ私、この子ったら反抗的な目をしてるわよ。淑女にあるまじきブサイクさだわ。そうね、かわいそうだけどお灸を据えてあげないといけませんね。
Yeah, it's a true nightmare, being punished, being bullied, actually, by her sisters for all eternity.
かわいい妹のためですもの。少しやりすぎに見えてしまうかもしれないけど、心を鬼にして強制してあげないと。
上姉様、反省してます。反省してます。
It's funny how she's acting this way. You normally think a writer is cool and calm and collected, but no.
明日から頑張りますから、今日はもう許してください。
She's just being bullied. It's like Cinderella, you know?
そうやって小さくなっていればいいのよ。いいわ。もうじき楽しい宴だし、今日は許してあげる。さあメデューサ、私たちのドレス。
You know, I wonder, like, you know, these icons, they don't show the sisters, but I believe I think these are the same voices that, well, we'll see. I don't see, like, if they actually appear as sprites.
なんでしょうか、下姉様。
何のつもりよ、これ。信じられない。私には衣装が3つあるように見えるのだけど。
内緒にしていたんですが、実は私も招待状ですね。
ありえない。こんなものはこうよ。
Oh no!
ね姉様、どうしてできたばっかりのフリフリドレスの鱗おろしとかするんですか？
私ったら本当に容赦がないんだから。かわいそうに。これじゃあもうメドゥーサは宴には出られないでしょうに。
ひどい下姉様、どうしてこういうことするんですか？
1000年早いって言うのよ。いいことメドゥーサ。メデューサの分際でパーティーに出ようなんて思い上がらないことね。
It really is just Cinderella, actually.
そういうことは大きなお友達のファンクラブができてからやることよ。もうそれは言い過ぎよ、私。それだとメドゥーサは一生社交界にデビューできないもの。
上姉様、それはどういう。
私の言うことがわかんないの？
Uriel?
あなたみたいな大女に惚れるノロマはいないってことよ。というかそんなの私たちが許さないわ。あなたに似合う男なんてそうそういるもんですか。そうね、残念だけどメドゥーサに似合う殿方は希少でしょう。
And that's why she has weird, you know, insecurities about her height, I guess. I don't know.
キス一つとってもロマンがないようではね。殿方に背伸びをさせるなんて女性として致命的ですよ。
そんな。
私だって好きで背が高いわけじゃ。というかそんなに背高くないと思うけど。精一杯体を縮めてその程度のくせに、悔しかったら私たちと同じになってみなさい。私たちだったら美しく抱き上げていただけるけど、あなたと来たら持ち上げられるのはアトラスくらいなものじゃない。
Atlas? I think that's exaggerating a bit much, but
ええ、でも彼でも腰を痛めますよね、きっと。わかった？今のトレンドはコンパクト&スリムってこと。脳工場みたいな大女なんてお呼びじゃないのよ。ひどいです。そこまで言わなくても。
how long will this nightmare go on?
泣いたところでダメ。あんたが上から涙を垂らしても、男は天井から雨漏りがしたかって思うかもね。あらあら、そこまで言ってはかわいそうよ私。知っていて、メドゥーサ鏡を見ながらため息をついているの。メドゥーサらしい浅ましい努力だと思わない？だから私、今夜の宴でポセイドン様から王面の鏡を譲っていただこうと思っているの。それなら小さく可愛らしく見えるから。いいじゃない、ポセイドン様にお願いしてとびきり大きな鏡を作ってもらいましょう。
Bully is just off the charts.
もちろんポセイドン様に尋ねられたらこう答えるわ。
So much abuse. I can see why Ryder is very sympathetic to Sakura's situation.
お恥ずかしい話ですが、私どもの妹はまっとうな鏡を制止できない心の病なのですって。まあ素晴らしい。はあ、私たちってほんと妹思いのいい姉だわね、メドゥーサ。姉様方。
Okay. There you go. And so, several minutes have passed since Ryder closed her eyes.
ライダー
Yeah, yes. Yeah, it's funny. I don't know. I guess we don't really see the sprites, but yeah, I guess, you know, Medusa's sisters, Steno and Uriel, they're more explored in Fate Go and everything.
悪夢の話なんだけど。
気が変わりました。昔話はこれまでにしておきましょう。
Yeah, I wonder if their character designs were actually made in Fate Go. I don't know.
それに、もうじき予約の時間です。
Ryder gets up from her seat. I regret asking. It really was an insensitive request.
それでは失礼します。それと、誤解なきように言っておくのですが、キビシスによって見せられた悪夢は、私にとってそう悪いものではなかったのです。
Really? It does seem traumatic.
私が動きを止めたのは、苦しみからではなく、もう二度と会えない人たちに会えた喜びから、なのですから。
え？
今のシロと同じですよ。振り回されてばかりでしたが、あれは私にとって最良の日々だった。私が鏡を嫌うのは、それを思い出してしまうからかもしれません。
Okay. She leaves with a kind smile. Okay, so the idea is that she misses her sisters. Even though they constantly abuse her in every way. I don't know. I can't help but feel happy seeing such a smiling face. Happy, but yeah, not the same way. Not exactly the same way. They're like borderline, you know, causing you horrible, like, mental and physical abuse. But anyway, no. But what's with this surging feeling of companionship for Ryder? Oh, there you go. Playing a bit of a Ryder's backstory. Like, probably, you know, a lot of the backstory, you know, obviously from Fate Go, of the original characters, probably come from Hollow Ataraxia. So, yeah, that's the original backstory. straight from the horse's mouth. Let's see. Well, there's a lot of choices. Saber in the living room.